We need to remember that we've all got our blind spots and contradictions and prejudices. If a parent or grandparent occasionally says something that makes us cringe, we don't automatically assume they're bad people. We recognize that the world is moving fast, that they need time and maybe a little encouragement to catch up. Our fellow citizens deserve the same grace we hope they'll extend to us.
Barack Obama wants Americans to forgive each other. But how can they when they have no conception of each other? That vision, that hopeful vision, that 2008 vision feels out of time almost. Away from the froth of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, we headed east into Indiana and the collection of small towns not far from the city's commuter belt. If this is real America, then this is probably a more real politics. A politics where to suspect is at least as forceful as the impulse to forgive. This is Chesterton, as real a place in America as you'll find anywhere.
I love our Constitution. I love our country, but I don't think I like our government right now.
As in, you don't like the Biden and Harris and so on?
No.
Yeah,
No, they're.
It goes deeper.
It goes deeper. Go ahead. This is my husband.
In what way so? In what way does it go deeper?
Because the government is run by people we don't elect anymore. They're embedded in the bureaucracy, and obviously you can see we have a president that probably has trouble changing his underwear, and yet the government just keeps running on, and they keep giving away our tax dollars to pay for student loans and doing all this stuff. Well, he sure isn't doing it because he's like demented.
So we're here at the Village Tavern. First person we spoke to brings up a conspiracy theory. I think we might have an idea about where this is going. We're going to go and speak to a few more people. Yeah, we're just wondering what your thoughts are on where American politics is right now.
Am I allowed to use profanity?
Please do. We
It's
prefer
fucked up, man.
It's what?
Both parties are totally fucked up.
What do you think of Kamala Harris?
I would vote for her before Donald Trump, that's for sure. I would vote for Hitler before Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump is actually Hitler reincarnated. And if you think about it, Hitler died in 45, Trump was born in 47. That gave the devil 2 years to come up with a soul to steal, and he found Donald Trump.
Hi, I'm Laura Verheg, and we are at the Red Cup Cafe in Delhi.
How excited are you, or interested are you, in what's coming in November?
I'm really excited. It was scary. I was like, there's no way Biden, I'd do everything I could to help him win, but it was a pretty scary situation. And right now I've got a lot of hope. Our first female president is going to be black. Can I swear?
Yeah, please do.
It's going to be fucking amazing. I am so excited. I want to be Tim Walz's friend.
Did you think that Hillary would win in 16? I mean, is it a danger of history repeating itself?
Oh God, I can't think about that, because then that would, such a scary thought, so I can't think about that. It would make it hard to do what I do if Trump wins again. There's a man running for governor here that I was joking with someone that I'm going to have to put my business under a man's name. That's the way this is going to be going.
In what way? Explain that.
Oh, because women won't have any rights. They took away Roe versus Wade like the moment it got overturned here in Indiana. Women should be at home, pregnant, having babies, taken care of, or being grandmas. Like that is their idea of what we should be doing, not running a successful business. Trump can't win. He just can't.
So Laura was really wonderful, and she had that absolutely typical Midwestern hospitality. I think she wouldn't have minded if we stayed there all day, and we could have done. But for all that warm-heartedness, it is so fascinating. We've only been here about an hour, and we have heard both in different ways from the left and the right. What for me is one of the cardinal features of modern American politics, right, which is this instant resort, whenever talking about politics, to conspiracy, to the idea, whether it is Trump or whether it's Biden or whoever it is, that political elites aren't doing their own bidding. They're always being controlled by somebody else. The strings are always being pulled by somebody else. Right, we're on our way now to a different town as part of our little mini Indiana road trip today, and we're going to Hobart, Indiana, which is not that far from Chesterton. Again, about an hour or so from Chicago. A little bit more Republican, dominated by a really big steelworks nearby, and so hoping it will be a reasonable thermometer of where American political opinion is right now. What's your name, sir?
James.
James, and have you, you're from Hobart, James?
Correct.
How are you feeling about the election in November?
Should I just be blunt?
As blunt as you want.
I'm hoping for Trump.
Are you? Why is that?
I'm tired of the Democrats. They're just they're crazy. The left is with what they want is nuts.
What do you think they want? Why do you think they're crazy?
Well, I mean, they're talking about kids transitioning, the price of gas. It's the green initiative. It's not sinking right.
And what do you think of Harris? I mean, she's obviously been making her pitch to the country this week. She's going to be.
Kamala Harris is not. She just doesn't belong there. She. See, I'm gonna say what I think, and it's not gonna be nice.
Well, say what you think. It's your opinion. You say you're
She's
entitled.
left her way to where she's at, and I just can't deal with it. She's not a politician. She doesn't do her job. Well, none of them are politicians. They don't do their jobs.
You think she's slept her way to where she's at? Why'd you say
Correct.
that?
Well,
Why'd you say
I
that?
mean, look at California.
But isn't it the truth? I mean, she's an accomplished woman. She had a successful legal career. She was an attorney.
She's an attorney, yeah, but look at California. California's a mess. You know, with the crime and the homeless, and it's a mess.
And Trump, obviously the Democrats say that he's a threat to democracy.
Well, because
what would you say to that?
Because he's revealing the truth about the swamp, about Washington, D.C.
Do you understand, when you say that, like, Kamala slept her way to the top, do you understand why a lot of people, if they heard that, they would find that really rude?
Yeah, man, that might be a little too much for me. I understand that. See that red Jeep?
Ah, right. And what is Mickey D's reputation locally?
It's just a beer and a shot bar.
3 PM, probably a bit early for a shot.
No,
says the editor.
Well, you've got people working out at the mills.
Ah, right, in steel mill, right.
24/7, so they get off at 8.
They finish work.
Right.
Right, okay, fair enough.
I mean, Mickey used to make us breakfast in here at 8:30 in the morning.
Oh, yeah?
We'd get eggs and bacon and pancakes, and
Looks nice.
we didn't get bangers and mash.
Suppose they wouldn't do.
All right, here we go.
Okay,
You
right.
ready?
Right, I'm ready.
Oh, Dennis.
My name is Richard Arthur Metz Jr.
Junior, very, very good. And you're known as Omets. So have you seen any of the DNC this week? Like Obama and so on?
I try not to, it just pisses me off.
Pisses you off?
Yes.
And what do you think of Kamala Harris?
She's a joke.
A joke, why?
She's been in power just like Joe Biden. They've accomplished nothing in nothing that they've ever done has done anything.
Have you always been a Republican?
No. I don't think anyone ever started out as a Republican. I think everyone started out as a Democrat.
Because you work at the steel mill, right?
Well, I just started. I used to be self-employed.
Right.
And growing up, my father was a union train operator, and I've always thought, and just like my union tells me, we're Democrat. It doesn't make sense anymore. I don't mean to make fun of Trump. He's orange. He has bad hair. He acts like a child. I wish they would just shut him up instead of getting on YouTube or whatever he does in the mornings, TikTok or whatever he does. He sounds like a spoiled brat. But if you look back of all the numbers, he has been the best president that we have had for a very, very long time. And I don't see in any way how the cackling Kamala Harris can do anything. She doesn't even know her own name. It's a joke. This is the top 1%, the Sorosos in the world. They are putting their little people together in order to keep going on what they want to occur.
So do you think that is Trump going to win?
What now?
Do you think Trump will win?
Of course. Yes. But if we have the same election as last time, he won the second time.
You think he did?
Absolutely, 1,000%.
But there's no evidence for that.
Yes, there's tons of evidence for that.
But there isn't. I mean, even Republican state authorities, like in Georgia.
Those are also paid for. We also have Republicans that are slide Democrats. No, he won.
You're completely certain of that?
1,000% certain.
Do you think that there are sinister forces in control of the Democrat Party?
1,000%, yes.
And in politics generally?
And that's why they hate Trump.
And who are these people?
Soros and all of them. That's why the media is owned by 1%. And you look at MSNBC, the fake news, CNN.
Fox News, owned by Rupert Murdoch?
No, absolutely. There's bullshit in everything. There's a bunch of bullshit in everything. I never voted my entire life until Trump got in. And when I saw how dire it was, how desperate America is now. If we put Kamala Harris in office now, we are fucked.
I'm Sue Bennett.
I'm Ron Bennett.
And you're so Sue and Ron, and it is your 51st wedding anniversary
Exactly.
today.
51st.
Congratulations.
Thank
Long
you.
time.
I'm super excited.
So you like Kamala?
Love her.
You love Kamala?
Oh, absolutely.
Why? What do you like about her?
I believe she's progressive. I believe she's at the right age, not too young, not older, and I believe that she probably has a lot of what the country needs in terms of just who she is and where she's at in her life.
What do you think of Trump?
I don't know if you want me to say that
I
in camera.
absolutely do.
I believe that he's a poser, that is a quasi-Nazi, that the last thing this country ever needs is him to be in control of our people.
What about you, Ron? What do you think?
He's not a quasi-Nazi. He's a Nazi. I'm a lifelong Republican. Voted since I came out of the military in '72. Now I vote Democratic.
And since Trump took over?
Pardon me?
Since Trump took over, you started voting Democrat?
Oh, that happened in 2016.
Yeah.
And actually, probably in 2008, when McCain picked who's the Alaskan governor?
Sarah Palin.
Thank you very much. And that's when we saw the deep dive of the Republican Party becoming radicalized in a way that I cannot relate to these Republicans. I'm an old-fashioned conservative Republican, and these guys have become radicalized.
And we've lost family members and friends relationships because of radicalization.
Really? So you've lost family and friends relationships?
We've actually lost them, yes, we have.
Because they, in your view, have become radicalized in a MAGA way?
Absolutely.
And that's all they want to
They're
talk
MAGA?
about.
Absolutely.
We get together at a party, and it's all about, Trump MAGAism.
Where do you think it comes from? Like, well, you're saying you were a lifelong Republican and you've seen the party transform. Why do you think they have become radicalized? So many people, who they don't believe the election. They believe the election was stolen. They believe Trump is almost a sort of messianic type figure.
Has a deep-rooted conservative radicalism, and Trump has brought that out. He's flushed these guys out, and now they have an agenda, and they control the media through Fox News, and they sell their agenda. They have no plan for the country. You listen to Trump, he just doesn't like people. He doesn't like how they look. He doesn't like, he has no policies.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I mean, that's scary. You must find that disturbing.
Oh, it
Well,
does.
it's frightening.
He has two brothers he will not talk
It's
to anymore.
frightening. I've lost two
brothers.
brothers over this. We can't even talk normal politics. And not that we ever did. We never talked politics 10 years ago. But now we sit down and we're drawing lines in the sand.
Yeah.
And it's
We have,
unfortunate.
yeah.
It interferes with personal relationships.
Yeah, one lives in Ohio, one lives in Wisconsin,
Yeah.
and we literally cannot get together anymore. They didn't come to the family reunion because we just cannot get together and have a normal family reunion.
So sad. It sounds like you're pretty pessimistic about America's future.
I'm pessimistic about the people that still believe in him and want to bring a person like him back in 4 years if Kamala wins. I'm afraid that they're always going to be there looking for the next person that is going to come in and be the next Trump. Because I don't think they're ever going to change and say, oh, Kamala's doing a great job. I don't think they're going to allow themselves to say, wait a minute, she's doing great in America. So we got to wait for the next person to run and hopefully he's more like Trump. Then we'll get ourselves back. I think they always need a Trump. I think that these people that are radicalized in our life always need a Trump.
And there's a deep racist divide in this country that Trump is feeding. Now, this country has always been kind of racially divided. And he's playing that card. And he's dividing us, saying, well, you guys are these guys and we're these guys. And I'm not making a good point here, but he is dividing the country into people that we are not. America has always been a very complicated country. We've had slavery, we fought a civil war. We're a complicated country. And he's playing on that card in the modern world, in this world of, the internet, etc. And he's working very hard to divide us.
So when you have conversations like that, it's almost difficult to know where to begin. That place, we did those two interviews not even 6 feet apart from each other. And it sort of goes back to that conversation we had with Laura in the cafe. This is a country of complete parallel, not just worlds, but realities. Those people, Ron and Sue and Richard separately, were drinking in the same place, they live in the same town. They internalize and think about reality, historical and political events in a completely different way from each other. They see the same thing and they get a different result each and every time. Think about what Ron and Sue said. They've lost relatives over politics. They've lost friends over politics. There are people in their close family that they no longer speak to because of the political events of recent years, because they can't even begin to think about how to connect with people with whom previously they were close because of politics. And you know what? In conversations off camera, some of the other people in there said exactly the same thing. And you can totally understand why. Because how can you begin to have a conversation with people who view the world in such a different way to yourself that you can't even begin to agree on the terms to have that conversation in the first place? That guy that you saw before, Richard, as we were leaving, he had that kind of perma smile, and yet at the end he genuinely seriously asked us whether the Democratic Party, whether Nancy Pelosi had sent us here to try and embarrass him and others. That is the disconnect that exists. And I don't even know how you begin to bridge that, certainly journalistically, but even politically in this country, no matter what happens. It is cliche to say that there are two Americas, but what there is beyond that, because there's always been that, are two American realities. And I don't really know how you even begin to deal with that.
The Newsagents. This is a Global Player original podcast.